Hello, my name is CarX82, and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 2. I am crafting up some more motors, because as I was doing recipes, I realized this isn't big enough, specifically for the robot arm. We need 11 bases for that. So, I need to craft up the upgraded pattern terminal, but it does require LUV circuits, so I'm kind of crafting these up to automate this stuff. But it's a little expensive, but it's not the end of the world. So that is working towards. I'll have to do these manually, at least the first one. Now I have gone ahead and made some changes, and I still haven't got this perfect. So I'm just kind of playing around with it. You know, I like kind of figuring out, seeing if I could automate it myself with, you know, some suggestions and stuff here and there. And what I have realized, I didn't realize originally, I noticed the setup had item P2P. And if you don't know, the item P2P, if you need to switch it from the ME, kind of similar to hitting it with a bucket to turn it into fluid. If you hit it with a storage bus, I think an interface works. I think a hopper works. So there's a few items that you hit it with to turn it into an item P2P. So I've gone ahead and placed one, and basically the setup uses item P2P tunnel to kind of have it turn off, so it stops taking items in. Because the way we had it set up before, it was definitely going to get clogged up. So what we have done, and I don't know if this is going to work quite yet, but what you do is put the interface on a item tunnel, and I'll explain this in a second. So a P2P item tunnel, which will input the items. And it's going to try to put the item, well, it's going to put the first item in the recipe. It'll go into this input bus. And then it's going to see an item in there, and the P2P is going to be like, oh, I can't put any more items in there. So it kind of tells the A system, stop inserting items into it. But I guess what they have done, whoever came up with this, has a one input to two outputs. So basically the output on the first input bus tells the A system to stop putting another recipe in, but since you have another output for the items on a interface, it finishes those items up and puts them in the subnet, and then they go in the storage buses with the priority. So we have priorities on all that, but that is how that works. So basically, when there's an item in there, the A system's like, oh, I have nowhere to put these items. Stop accepting them into the P2P thing. And then something funny with the second output on an interface just finishes the rest of that recipe. Now, the one on the wiki has you turn all the items, including the fluids, into, or it has you turn the fluids into items. So they're kind of like physical items you can hold, you know, the drops. And it puts them in the decoder. Basically the same process, but it uses a decoder underneath each patch. So it puts the items in there, that turns them into fluid, and then it puts it in there. What I have tried to do, and I have no idea if this is actually going to work, is basically pump the items out into the item, and then pump the fluids out into the dual interface, and then that puts the fluids in there. I have no idea if this is going to work. I wanted to do it directly from the dual interface, but for some reason, the motor recipe wouldn't recognize any place for it to go, even if I had it directly on the item P2P. So we're going to see if this works. I have a feeling it's not going to with the ingredient buffer. I think it needs to be directly on an interface. So I may have to break down and just do the the item decoder thing, but I wanted to see if we could work a different way. Now, the other thing is I'm not sure if these are going to work. I think the interface may need to go directly on the thing, but I'm curious if I can use pipes to pump out the things into there. Now, I did try an item conduit, but item conduit does not work. And it was the same reason it wouldn't work with the fluids, in that for some reason, when you do an item conduit, it'll start there, it'll pull in order, and then it finishes. And then instead of like starting from the front again, it actually starts from the one it ends, and then goes to the front. So it goes down, finishes on that one, then the next group of items you put in, it starts on this one, and then would go that way, and then it would end on that one. And then the next group, it would start on that one, and then go around. For some reason, it doesn't like reset. And I was noticing that was the issue when I was trying to use the fluid conduits for the hatches. It would put the ones in the right place, but the second time I would put in there, it would start with the lubricant and put it in the first one. So that is a bit of a pain. So I've tried to do this, and I don't know if this is actually going to work, because these item pipes can hold an item, and I don't know if that's going to mess everything up. So, in theory, when I have this, switch this to import, it's going to pull the items out in order. They're going to go in the right places, and we're going to craft up a thing. But again, alright, it did both. It did both things there. It should be running, and the items should be in place for the next one, which it does seem like it worked. The question is if I do like 4 at once. But as of now, or like a different recipe, is the question. As of right now, it is working. But we shall see. But alright, so that's kind of like update. This is like my third iteration of this automating the assembly. We'll see if this works. If not, we will change it again. I basically need to auto-craft up a robot arm with all the parts. But we're not quite yet there yet. I guess if I could do... Oops. No, I don't know if that would... I need 2 conveyor belts. Uh-oh. Did it not work? Uh-oh, something happened. Ah. Yeah, what it's done is put the things in the... It worked the first time, but then the second time it didn't, yeah. So this is kind of what I was worried about. Oh well, it's fun to try to sort this out. For sure. I wonder why... I guess it was putting the items in before... Yeah, it was continually putting the items in because this pumps out. That's kind of what I was a bit worried of. I wonder if I do both. I do... No, because these auto-output, don't they? Like if I do an export. But I'm pretty sure these pipes automatically push out. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. It needs to be directly on the thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the... These pipes didn't have, like, an item in them. If it didn't have, like, an internal inventory, that probably would have worked. But since it pulled out an item, the P2P wasn't stopping it because it could still pull out an item into the pipe. And then since it was in the pipe, it auto-outputs into the thing. So I think that's why that didn't work. Now, I tried to do this with the recipes in there. And then... I can never remember which way to... And then I tried to do the P2P directly on that. But it acted like it had nowhere to put the item, so I'm really not sure. I may have to do a bit more messing around with this. If not, I'm just gonna have to have them all have the fluids act like items on the thing. I really was kind of hoping this dual interface would work. But it gets to the point where it can craft this, and it's like, I have nowhere to put this. Which, yeah, I'm not sure, because I have done the exact same thing over here with the item interfaces. And it works fine on this one. Like, these recipes just go in here, and then the conveyor pulls the items out. But for some reason, this doesn't want to put the items in it, so... Unless... No, that's not going to work. I was just thinking, I'm like, well, maybe I could put the... pipe directly on there, but I don't think that'll work because this has an internal buffer. I really just need a pipe that'll pull out in the correct order without an inventory on the thing. But alright, I'm going to mess around with this a bit more. Going to continue crafting up the stuff that we need. Maybe I'll do the 2 conveyors. And at least get the robot arm done. So I'm going to start that. And we'll see if it... Oh, I forgot to... That. And that. I'm assuming because it can't put both items into a item P2P, it's saying there's nowhere for it to go. I think that's what's happening. I could be wrong. Okay, I've gone ahead and basically copied everything over from the wiki. I thought maybe we could do the dual interface, but pretty sure since it can only... It needs to output both the fluid and the items for it to put the item in. And it could only do one. So the dual interface was not working. So I switched it to a regular interface. So this is going to output the items. Even the fluids will be the items. And then they will go in the fluid decoders. Now I've gone ahead and put storage buses on the back of these. Give them the highest priority. I did switch the items, the recipes to do fluids first. And hopefully it'll say like, okay, the Indoloy is the first one, this is the highest priority, it'll go in there. Now I did craft up fuzzy cards because if we just do a blank storage bus, it's going to try to put items in there that aren't fluid packets. So I think this is fuzzy card with a fluid packet right there. And I just got that from throwing it. I threw the recipe in that interface on a chest, and I got the items for that. So I think that'll work. One thing I realized, and I think I actually screwed up the P2P. I don't know. I haven't tested it yet, but I think each one does need a ME storage bus, but the first one also has a P2P tunnel on it. I think that's how it's supposed to work. So instead of that right there, it would be the fluid storage bus and then also the P2P on it. Dang it. Alright, I will craft that up. Let's try this and see what happens before I change that. I have a feeling it's going to go in that one, because the PvP does not have a... It just doesn't have a priority, unfortunately. So I was kind of wondering how that was going to work. But, alright, so let's try this. And see what happens. So there we go. We can see it's gone in there. Looks like it sent all the items in. Yep. See, there we go. It put the first item in there, not the first input bus. But the fluid hatches should have that and that. Yep. But unfortunately... Wait. It crafted one up. Did it craft... Did I hit 2 or 1? Did I only... Oh. That was originally... Just kidding. We're on this one. This is the one we're doing. That was the one I used to get the fluid packet for the thing. Alright. So it did put both the fluids in there. So, yeah. I think I need to switch this. Grab a storage bus. And the reason I realize that is because the way I have this set up, people smarter than me have figured this out. The way they had the priorities, that was 16. So that tells me there's 16 storage buses, which is the full amount. Whereas I was starting on 15. I'm like, I think I'm missing one. And then it kind of hit me that I have a feeling this goes on it as well. So it has both. Now, I'm sure we can make this more attractive. Maybe I'll throw a thing there to hide the let's do this. Hide being able to see through. Also, I think that is not gonna be big enough. That needs to come down, I think. Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. I just need to get this working, and then I can make it look a bit prettier. Alright, so there we go. So that already had the 8, the way I've set it up. And that is on there. That has got the priority of 16. Alright, I do need to pull everything out and try it one last time. I don't like... Oh, I guess it did put 2 of them, yeah. Alright. The P2P turning it off wasn't... I didn't have the P2P set up correctly, so I think that's why it didn't turn off. Alright, is that... I think that's everything. And that, and that. Alright, cool. Cancel this. And let's try again. Conveyor. Like, what was I doing? Alright, so it's in the front. Did I ever put the conveyor recipe in there? Piston robot arm. No. Alright, well, that might have been causing a bit of an issue. Alright, so if I put this in, it should turn on. Yes? No? Maybe so? No. Alright. Because I didn't have that in there, I think it screwed it up. Otherwise... Alright, let's try it when it's actually correct, because I think what it did was... Do I have all the things going in the right... Let me just double check all those are going in the right places. Fluids are going in the right places. Yep. Everything seems to be going in the right place. I just didn't have it. You know what? I probably just need to... I probably just had to do this. It wasn't enabled. Alright. Let's try this one last time. Hey, nobody said automating this from the get-go was super easy. I'm sure a lot of people are screaming at me like, this is so easy, what are you doing? Okay. Try again. Cancel. Conveyor. 2 of those. Alright. There it is. I was like, I am missing something. There we go. And then the next bit is in. Alright, I guess the question would be, would it turn off if I did 3 in a row? I guess I didn't... I probably should have done more. But we'll test that out when I do the robot arm. Basically, right now, I'm just trying to get the 4x4 fluid crafted up. Alright, well, both of those worked. So, I mean, so far so good, but I've said that 2 other times before, or 3 other times. Okay, so there's our conveyors. We got our motors there. I do need pistons, and I haven't done that recipe yet. And I can't remember if I have room for the piston recipe. Do we? 8, 9, 10. No! I don't. I could just do... I just need to get this crafted up so I can... I don't... I can just throw... That's not what I wanted. I could just throw, like, lubricant in the second one. Just to get this crafted up. I'll take that out. Alright, so piston. I don't remember how many we need for the robot arm. 1? Yeah. Okay, I do need to make recipes for some stuff as well. Okay, we are back. I got the robot arm, and everything seemed to work out. Okay, there is some weirdness with the antimony recipe. I don't know. If you shift-click it in, it does not... It doesn't work. And I actually don't know. It's kind of weird. At least it didn't work. Now it'll probably work if I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. Shift-clicking in the recipe. Very strange. Not entirely sure why, but if you just place the item in, it's okay. Usually that happens if there's, like, multiple dusts, but I only see the one. But, alright. Anyway, there is that. I think we got everything for the fluid processing now. Everything seemed to be working okay. Yep. we got that. It is a bit of a pain that first thing I'm crafting up is a pattern terminal with all this resources I just spent crafting, but hey, it is what it is. Now this is going to give us awesome things here. Also, just in case you don't know, the easiest way to place the fluids first is to do that. Just place it up in the bookmark part, and then you can place it wherever you want in the crafting grid. So if you don't know how to do that, because this one actually gives you a option to place the fluids first when we shift click the recipes in, whereas the other one doesn't have that option, but you have to manually do it. So let's just do this. Those already have the recipes are set, but these I didn't do. All right, so there we go. Oops. I'm pretty sure it needs to be first, the way we set up the thing. I wish that would stay on. It does not. That is right. I need to do these. Oops. Kind of wish those wouldn't move around, but it is kind of cool. You can like just move them if you want, but I kind of wish it didn't do that automatically. All right. I think we're good there. This one doesn't have any, no. That. So let me remove this stuff. This was just so it would craft without the fluids, and then there we go. All right. So we have a few more recipes. Now I do want to, like I said, I do want to start working on the next rocket, obviously. And we're going to be working towards, okay, we got that. Next rocket, LV hatch. There's a few things we need to be working on. And I do kind of want to get that. But I do want to, our farm, oops, I have our farm turned off at the moment because it does take quite a lot of power. I could probably do without the Ender Bloom for now. I think I'm going to do Blaze Reed seeds and replace the other one with Netherrack. Because Netherrack dust, spell it, Netherrack dust gives us redstone, sulfur, and coal. And pyrotheum dust is redstone, sulfur, and coal with blaze powder. So I'm thinking we'll do another rack. We'll do a blaze reed. Unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot from that blaze because the stats on it aren't very good. I'm not sure I want to... Can't remember what tier blaze is because we can't craft them up. We need a higher tier to do those seeds. It will work on the synthesizer, an LV one. So that is something. But I'll just work on that as a side thing. And the Vulcanus is another. I mean, none of this looks very difficult. I can't remember exactly. Tantalum's a bit of a pain, but it's not really anymore. All right, yeah. So we can craft all that stuff up. It's not like a super big priority because I have a whole bunch of blast furnaces anyway. But it's just going to speed stuff up. So I've gone ahead and done a few things here. One, I have set up the implosion compressor again with improved thing with the stocking input bus, the output bus directly into ME, and then a regular bus right there. So that will get us the press plates. I've also set up a naming thing. I've just named it A line 2. So we can at least try this. I haven't tried this yet, so we'll see how it works. But in theory, from what I've read, oh, we got problems. We got problems in our thing. I just noticed that. Let me just fix that. I don't really know what the effect that does. I'm assuming it just wastes a bit more energy. But, alright, so that is sick. I'm assuming, from what I read, that it'll name the plates. I have a recipe for it in there, and then so it can split up the things so they don't stack in the assembly line. So hopefully that will work. I've also gone ahead and attached the IC2 coolant with a fluid storage bus. I did notice it was a bit funny sometimes updating, but that seems to be kind of a theme with extra cells. But, alright, so I think I do have that. I don't remember if I have a heavy... Okay, I do have some, so I couldn't remember if I had any. So there we go. We do need to make more indoloi. No, we don't. Because it's only using... It's only using 336. That's a bit funny, isn't it? Why would it... Is it not... Is it not recognizing this is in here? Well, let me do this. It feels like it's not recognizing it. Okay, appears to have sorted itself out. Now I am gonna do that. I forgot, as usual, I forgot to have to do a data stick for the tier 4. That is just the a heavy duty plate from the tier 3. So that is good to know. I went ahead and just broke this fluid thing and replaced it, and that seems to have fixed the not recognizing that there's fluid in the A system. So, we should be good. We are just making those ice plates in the assembler. Yep, there we go. I did go ahead and just replace this with a dual interface, so I can add recipes that use fluid in there. We will get those all sorted out though. Alright. Should have put the stuff in there. Yep, and there it goes. So yeah, naming the items does in fact stop them from stacking, which is really cool. I like that. So there we go. There is our first tier 4. Well, technically our second. I did test it before that to make sure it was working. But, alright. So it did take me 3 episodes, and I ended up just copying the build on the wiki in the end. Pretty much. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like it, but, yeah, I tried to do some other variations of it. But in the end, it does appear that this is the best way to do it. But alright, so we'll continue with the assembly line, and we will see if we come up with any issues. We will address them there when we get to it, but as of now it does seem to be working, and that is pretty cool. So I'll keep working towards the the tier 4 rocket. We got that. Obviously the LUV energy hatch, the precise auto assembler, and the Vulcanus. I do want to get that going. So I might start farming. I really need better blaze seeds, to be honest, because we don't get a whole lot from that. I feel like blaze will be, although I mean, if I'm not running the Vulcanus like permanently, we'll probably be able to build a sort of Pyrotheum up. I don't know. We'll have to deal with that in the next episode. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. So thanks for watching, Dad. Have a good one.